Good morning to Katie and Professor Srinivasan, and hi Manoj, welcome for the session, and thank you so much that you're here so early in the morning to tell us about the course and sort out all the queries for the aspirants. And thank you aspirants for joining us. So I'll hand it over to Katie for.
Great.
You forgot to introduce Professor Milind Kamath, the head of the program.
So Professor Kamath has been there all through the session. All the students know him.
Yeah, I'm there. So
my bad. Good evening and welcome to two of you also, Devashi sir and Kamath, Professor Kamath. And from the team, Divya is there and I'm there. So any questions related to GMP, we'll be able to help you. And others, anything related to the admissions, Katie will be able to help you. And I think anything related to the academics, professors here to answer your questions. So please, you can write your questions on chat or unmute yourselves and ask the questions.
Okay, well, should I go ahead and kick off?
Yes, please.
Okay, well, great. Good morning, everyone, or good evening, depending where you are in the time zone. My name is Katie Lynn. I'm the Associate Director for the Master of Science in Global Supply Chain Program at Marshall School of Business. I'm so happy to, participate in this information session to hopefully give you more information about the program itself. And then, Deepali and I will kind of tag team and answer your questions regarding the application process and how you can be part of our Trojan family. So let me go ahead and pull up our my PowerPoint, and just want to make sure, can you see all this? You can see this, right?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. All right, so let me first start. Okay, so our MS GSCM program, what we're really hoping to accomplish when we admit students into the program is to really prepare them for the next generation of senior leadership. We want to mold our students so that they are able to be global specialists who are able to build and lead supply chain organizations. We know supply chain is a growing field. We can see that especially with the pandemic, how it's really impacted a lot of industries, and it's become one of the hottest industries for many professionals to get into. Our program really helps prepare our students to master the fundamental knowledge and skill set so that they come out to be the experts in really leading these companies and making these operational changes so that it improves the efficiency and process of the companies. It's a 16 months program. We do offer, obviously we're talking about the residential program, but we also offer an online executive program as well. We've heard our academic director talk about, it takes 16 years for him to really build the network and knowledge of the industry. But we are really hoping to accomplish is for you to be able to get that in 16 months as opposed to 16 years. At the same time, our students come from all over the world. We have students who are coming from Indonesia, from Iran, from Africa, from Europe, so you are going to be able to expand your network and form relationships from students from all over the world, and so that you are able to help yourself grow professionally and personally. At the same time, we have some experiential trips integrated in the curriculum, which I'll go into details later. But really, these trips also help you, grow your global perspective and experience in supply chain. And it's really what makes our program so unique. At the same time, our students really experience extensive exposure to contemporary and future issues and business issues as well. We are so lucky to also be in collaboration with the Randall Kendrick Institute, which I'll also go into details later of what that department's about, but they also help support our students regarding industry outreach, career support, research opportunities. So it's another great resource for our students to get access to this top ranked curriculum. So in regards to how many classes per semester are for our typical residential program, we generally have our students enroll, starting fall, 2022. It's a fall start program at USC. So generally we have our students enroll in 4 classes during the first semester, and then they continue on in the spring. And then the summer semester, that's when they are able to start their CPT full-time internship experience, which a lot of our students are doing right now. And they're able to continue on their CPT internship experience from summer through the fall semester, so that they get 2 semesters entirely of CPT internship experience. And after that, they can pursue their OPT internship experience as well. One of the great things is, we have the residential students have a dedicated career advisor that will help support students in regards to resume review. They'll help them with mock interviews. They're always hosting different recruitment events, industry events. So our students are able to definitely start that career process starting in the first semester in the program. And we really, really encourage our students to start that process early on so that they can be well prepared for when they start the interview process in spring, and then they're able to be secured their work position starting in the summer semester. So this is just a snapshot of our typical on-campus schedule. So we typically start our students with the operations management course, designing spreadsheet-based modeling, and then we have something called the Global Supply Chain International Settings course, which is tied with a experiential trip, a 1-week experiential trip to Singapore and Malaysia, which our students are able to go on the trip in sometime in the second semester of their first semester of the program in December. Which I'll go into details later about what the trip is about, but basically that trip occurs during your first semester. And then we also have communication for management to really help build up our students' communication skills. In the second semester, we have our students take the Viterbi engineering course, which is enterprise-wide information system. And then we have application Lean Six Sigma, and then supply chain management, and they are able to choose an elective. And then the summer semester, we really focus on our internship. So we require students to do some kind of internship, and then they can choose to take an online elective option if their internship placement is, let's say, out of town, based in Los Angeles. And then in their last semester of the program, you're taking the remaining core class, which is DSO 557B, and that's tied with the Los Angeles experiential trip. Which again, we take our students on a 1-week trip here in Los Angeles to visit different companies, hear guest speakers, industry leaders talk about the industry, and then that's tied with the graduation here in Los Angeles. So there's a total of 30 units that our students typically take in the residential program. And here's a snapshot, just a list of elective options that our students are able to take. There's sustainable supply chain, sourcing and supply management, supply chain finance, supply chain analytics, emerging technologies, and supply chain. As you can see, we're not just focusing on one area of supply chain. It's really a diverse of knowledge that you're going to be gaining on top of also engineering electives if you want to choose that. We're actually really open for our students to enroll in other classes outside of this list. So if there's some MBA courses, or maybe you want to focus some classes on business analytics, we're definitely open for you to enroll in those as elective options, as long as there's no restrictions where that course doesn't have some kind of program restriction where it's only for that program, or as long as there's space, we're definitely open for you to cater to the program based on your personal and professional needs. So you're not tied to just lists. So that's something that we definitely are very open to, because we know that this is a 16 months program. It's going to go by really fast. You want to be able to gain, the skill set that you need so that you can grow professionally and be able to apply what you learn in companies. So we want to make sure that you make the most out of this program, and that's definitely what we want to focus on. So as I mentioned, between the 7A and B courses, it's tied with the experiential trips. So the experiential trips really, Marshall School of Business really focuses the importance of getting the students to have that global perspective and really opening students' mind and experience to other countries and learning about their infrastructures and their business. And that's why we take our students on these trips. We have them study the global logistics infrastructures, interact with policymakers and industry leaders. They are visiting different logistics facilities, ports, airports. Some of the facilities that we've taken our students to is like the Kunanagal company, Port of Tanjung in Malaysia, PSA. The students are really learning about the challenges and how these companies are running their operations and what kind of solutions that they're developing, so that you get more of a hands-on understanding of what's occurring in these companies rather than what you're learning in the books, right, in class. And at the same time, students are working together as a team between the on-campus and online students. So you are able to not only, interact with your own cohort, but you're also able to interact with our own online cohort as well. Our online cohort is actually generally students who they have 3 to 5 plus years of work experience. Some of them are CEOs, some of them are VPs of their companies already. And our on-campus students, I would say generally is more, maybe they just have 1 to 2 years of experience. So one of the great things about these classes is that you are able to definitely work as a team and work in different group projects, so that you are able to develop that rapport with the online students. And a lot of times these online students hire from our on-campus students because they already develop this kind of rapport with one another, and they know that skill set that our on-campus students are able to gain after they graduate. So they hire from our students, and that's the great thing about our community, is that our students are always willing to help each other, and it's a great way for you to build that network and to really expand that network as well. So again, we have the Los Angeles experiential trip, as I mentioned, where we're taking our students to visit like the port. We've taken our students to the performance team facility, which is the distribution center for Tom's Shoes, FedEx. We've also taken our students to Walmart distribution center in Apple Valley. So our students are able to spend that time here in Los Angeles to visit these companies, speak with industry leaders, and then gain that domestic understanding of the business. At the same time, part of our curriculum, as I mentioned, we have the application Lean Six Sigma already incorporated in the program as part of your classes that you need. The Lean Six Sigma courses really allow our students to work as a hands-on consulting team to work on a live project. So you're able to work as a student consulting team. That's one of the also highlights of our program. Our students work on live projects. They've worked on different operational projects related, from the Kaiser Permanente, Keck School of Medicine at USC, where they're able to streamline the process providing treatment for cancer patients. They've also worked on projects related with the Port of Los Angeles, where they're really measuring and reducing the carbon footprint of supply chain trucking. And then at the same time, they've also worked on projects related to the California steel industries, where they're reducing the metal waste. So really, one of the great things about these projects is you're able to gain immediate feedback from the companies. And it's a really great way for you to get that real world experience if you don't have a lot of it. And at the same time, you're able to engage in the actual business problem and effectively use the strategies to maximize performance and save costs, and really allow you to get that teamwork experience, project management experience, as well as analytical experience. At the same time, once you successfully pass the class, you're able to gain your green belt certification. And then after that, if you want to pursue your black belt certification, our Randall Kendrick Institute, which is our sister department, offers that opportunities for our students during the summer semester. So that's definitely something that you can pursue in the summer, or you can even pursue that even after you graduate in the summer semester. So they have that available online as well. And they also have other different kind of certification programs, which I'll go into details later too. So as I mentioned, our program, we work collaboratively with the Randall Kendrick Institute. They basically provide our students, different research opportunities, networking opportunities, and education. They have an advisory board of over 25 industry leaders who come together a couple times a year to discuss the current issues of supply chain, how they provide our students leading reports on the industry. They look at our curriculum to see if there's any revisions, like, if they notice any kind of industry gap or knowledge that our students are lacking, they'll definitely let our academic director know, and our academic director would revamp our kind of curriculum list so that it really meets the industry standards, and that you come out of the program really prepared, and knowing what is the current trends and industry knowledge that you need to be updated on each year. At the same time, our institute, they really want to be engaged and committed to our students' learning. So they're hosting actually one of the largest supply chain conferences coming up in October 19 and 20. All of our students are required to attend. Normally it's an in-person event where 500 industry leaders come together and learn about the hot topics in supply chain. They're learning about the critical supply chain trends and industry challenges. And our students go to network and listen to these speakers talk. Obviously, because of the pandemic, last year it was virtual, and then this year it's actually a hybrid and then the in-person is based on a limited capacity. But so most of the students are actually going to be attending in person, but most of the industry leaders will be attending virtually this year, actually. But typically our students attend these events, and then they're able to meet with different companies. The Institute also creates a Industry Network Connect industry event where they recruit basically 50 companies to come and recruit from our student talent. And at the same time, we also have student and alumni reception where our students are able to network with our alums as well. So it's a week-long event where our students can participate in. And these are just some of the events that the Institute hosts for our students. At the same time, they host something called the Lunch and Learns, which on a monthly basis, they invite some kind of industry leader or company to come and talk about their company and to talk about some of the job opportunities that they have. And they're always, because they have a network of like 500 companies, these companies are always sending job opportunities to the Institute, and our Institute email blast it to our students, inform them of what opportunities are out there. So it's another way for you to get that career support that you may not normally have. So it's really a really great umbrella to provide our students that additional connection, and it's a resource for our students to definitely take advantage of when they are part of our program. So as we talk about career outcomes, as I mentioned, our on-campus students, they have a dedicated career advisor that really works with them starting in the first semester of the program. One of the great things about our program is we have 100% students who are able to get summer internship offers. And then that a lot of times these internship offers, are extended through the fall semester, or our students look for other opportunities in the fall. 90% of our students have full-time job placement within 3 months, and then 100% of our students have full-time job placements within 6 months. And these are really, really incredible stats that we have. Our students have been hired by Tesla, Amazon, Microsoft, Facebook, a lot of top companies, because they recognize that, because you're graduating from USC, one of the top, schools in the world, they definitely value that, and that's something that's going to put you ahead of other students and other people that apply to these positions. And as terms of costs, obviously tuition is based on per unit rate. Right now, business graduate per unit rate is $20.90 per unit. So if there's 30 units you need to complete the program, you would just multiply that by $20.90. Obviously, tuition increases each year, so the rate can increase. So it's approximately $63,000. And then we also have the travel fee and the program fee, which covers your expenditure trips and all the orientation week and all these amazing program events that we host for our students. And our international students can definitely pursue scholarship opportunities through the program. If you go on our website to apply to the program, there's a section in the application where it says scholarship opportunities. You should fill that section out and there's like a little short essay that you need to complete, but definitely complete that, because when the faculty committee are reviewing your application, they can see, okay, you're interested in a scholarship, and then they can definitely consider you as one of the recipients, as long as you submit that scholarship component. Obviously, scholarship is on a limited basis. It's really based on merit, and if you have really good academic background, or work background, we definitely value that. So but it's definitely worth filling out that section of the application, just so that we know that you're at least interested in it when it's available. I do want to mention our online program. It's number one on U.S. News World Report. It's been number one for 2 years in a row, which we're really, really proud of. Other notorieties were top 5 on the world rankings. So we are one of the top supply chain programs compared to other universities in the world. So really, really proud of these notorieties. And one of the reasons why we are number one is obviously because of our outstanding faculty members. So I do want to introduce one of our Marshall faculty, Dr. Ashok Srinivasan. He is an associate professor of clinical data sciences and operations. He is also one of the dedicated MS-GSCM professors that teaches our operations management course, as well as GSBA 547, which is the designing spreadsheet course. He's also part of our admissions committee members. So he's one of the committee members that reviews the application. He's done research, on supply chain management, nonprofit management, productivity analysis. His research really appears in, several articles, empirical research articles out there, and we're really fortunate to have him join us today to speak more about his background, maybe also some of the courses that he's taught, and also even providing you the faculty perspective in terms of expectations on how, what he thinks makes a student successful in the program, or even successful in his class. Hopefully he can give you some kind of background about that, so that you know what these faculty expectations are when you join the program. Dr. Srinivasan, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm ready.
Great. Yeah. Why don't you first introduce yourself and give
All right.
background.
So, you already introduced me. So I think let me start by saying that I've been in the admissions committee for several years now for this supply chain program. We have 2 programs. One is the residential program, and one is the online program. And basically, I've been teaching the 534 course for the online program, and this semester I'm doing that. Which is, but there are some people when even some residential people join, I guess, but mostly online. The 547 is designing spreadsheet modeling. That's an elective. It's one of the most popular courses in the business school because it's basically Excel based. Okay. There are two types of in this spreadsheet modeling, or what do you call it? Is business modeling. This 547 is taught at the Excel level, but there's another course which is much more serious, which talks with really it uses AI and other kinds of software, the same material but in a much more detailed way. But I guess 547, the MBAs, it depends on what your objective is. Most MBAs like it because everybody is Excel, and what we do there is business modeling. That is, we start with the 2 weeks of Excel, and we have a tutorial which you participate with. But then we do optimization, we do linear optimization, it's all hands-on. We do nonlinear optimization, we do integer optimization, we do mixed integer distribution system design, which is mixed integer programming. Sometimes I think I've done, some instructors do decision trees, scenario modeling, and then simulation. We use Crystal Ball to do simulation, discrete event simulation, and so Monte Carlo simulation. So we do 5 weeks of that, 4 or 5 weeks. So you get an idea of how to model a bunch of problems, and it's just not supply chain. This course is offered to the MBAs. Okay, so there's MBA full-time, the regular MBAs, the part-time MBAs. There's so many MBA programs. 1 year MBA. I don't know. So so we have a mix of those students taking it, and it's a popular. We may offer many sections of it. I only teach one section. Maybe once I taught twice, but. So it's a very popular program. It's also, but the thing about it is also very, it's a lot of work is involved. You have to, if you use Excel and all these, all these programs, so you have to, when you're doing it Excel or dealing with some simulation model, you have to spend time on it to fix it. When you start learning it, and then you try to make it run, and then, so we focus more on the modeling. But as part of it, we sort of, you get to know some of these tools. So that's spreadsheet modeling. The other course, 534, I've been teaching it to the online program. I've taught it to the undergraduates, and also I taught it to the MBAs. Okay, but the version let me explain to you what the difference is between teaching the online program and the, let me share one slide, the topics here. And I think, let me see if I can share this with you. Give me a second. Let me share, let me share my screen, okay? Okay, so basically, these are topics, but we don't use, for example, in the, I don't know if Manoj, did you take this course from Murad?
Yes, Professor, I took his course. Yes.
Okay. So basically, these two topics I don't do in the online program because those people have lots of more experience. So and optimization requires a bit of time. But I think in the residential program, I think Murad does linear programming,
yes.
Programming, and waiting line management. Okay. The process analysis is the building block of operations. So you got to know something about how to analyze a process, okay, and calculate metrics for the process, because it's something very fundamental in process analysis and supply chain. And so we do that in all the programs. In supply chain management, we we have all these things about reactive supply, different types of supply chains, and then cost drivers, and then it sort of segues into economies of scale and the news vendor model, and how do you model manage long life cycle products? How do you model short life cycles products? Those kinds of things. And then you have this, and some, I think in most classes, they talk about this, the beer game, supply chain dynamics, and the information you need to manage supply chains. And that segues into, at one point it was collaborative management and supply chain visibility, but nowadays it's gone into blockchain. So that's one supply chain dynamics is one topic. And then we talk about in supply chains, we have some cases of depending on we have an elective on supply chain, so they do a bunch of cases there. All the famous cases like Zara and Tesla and I don't know, a whole bunch of cases here, Sports Obermeyer and those kinds of cases. And then supply chain management, again, this whole idea of distribution system design. Should I have one warehouse? Should I have 3 warehouses? Should I have 5 warehouses? Where do I locate it? The location aspects are not covered mostly in the Excel spreadsheet course because it's more mathematical optimization. But this whole idea of where do you locate inventory and how many warehouses should you have, this whole topic on risk pooling and supply chains. So we cover that in the supply chain management. Inventory management, as I talked to you, it's about modeling short cycle. How do you manage long life cycle products and short life cycle products? Sourcing, I'm not sure it's taught in the, we talk about it in the online program. There are models of where should you source from, and how do you think about sourcing? And there's some modeling there, but we do a bunch of cases there. Revenue management is a hot topic nowadays in operations, and this has to do with the 2 major sort of subtopics. One is how to align pricing, the idea of should you have one price and multiple prices and those kinds of things. And then how do you, in an aircraft, how do you divvy up the number of seats between different types of customers, business customers, business customers and leisure customers. And actually, that whole topic, we give an introduction to it, okay? Because the service sectors like hotels, even baseball stadiums, football stadiums, all those, this idea of pricing the tickets and how many seats do you have for a particular price? How do you do it? The main idea is, we don't get into too much details, but we do some modeling in it, okay? And the last one is operational innovation. And we talk about, what is operational innovation? Like Southwest Airlines, they went from, they didn't go for a hub and spoke system. They went to the point-to-point system. And to do that, they had to innovate. They had to keep the planes in the air, but how did they do that? Walmart, cross-docking, Zara, these are all, they talk about vertical integration and this quick response idea. And so there's a whole lot of delayed differentiation, Hewlett-Packard, those kinds of things. What is operational innovation? And because whatever you do has to be sustainable in the long run. If you do something which can be easily copied, that's not going to help you in the long run. So that kind of thing. So these courses are semester-long courses. So I think Manoj, you have what 14 weeks? Is it?
I guess it's 16 weeks, Professor. Yeah.
16 weeks. Okay.
14 or 16 weeks. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have played these games, beer game, which you talked about, and other kind of games, and we did lots of case studies as well. Yeah.
Okay. So you meet twice a week, is it, Manoj?
Yes, Professor. We meet twice a week.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So in the online program, we meet once a week for a long, and it's a different program because we have lots of videos which they have to watch and take the quizzes which they have to take before coming in class. So it's a different program. but the topics are very similar, which we cover. Okay. And then a follow-up of this course is the supply chain management course. Is it an elective, Katie, supply chain management, or is it required?
It is required.
It's required. Okay.
Yeah.
So what they do is they take this knowledge which they have, this kind of base which they get from the first course, and then they build on it with a lot of cases and other stuff in the supply chain management course. And then Katie talked about electives. Okay. And lots of electives, sustainable, our department head, Grace, she teaches sustainable supply chains. It's a very popular elective. And then there's, she also teaches, I think, supplier management. And then the other thing about the university is that depends on different year. I think last year, everybody was taking a course on machine learning and AI. Are you taking anything, Manoj, on machine learning and AI?
No, Professor. I'm totally towards supply chain, not towards data side. Yeah.
Not towards data. Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of people want to take something in machine learning because everybody's talking about it in the MBA program and all these programs. There's so many master's graduate programs. There's a lot of talk about topics like machine learning, for example. And I think people take it because it's also for an interview. If you come from a graduate program, you're supposed to know something about it. Okay, nowadays, it may not be 10 years ago, nobody would have required, so people take that as an elective, and you got to learn some kind of Python. In some courses have Python, some courses have some other meta language, and then some people in some other courses, if they want to go more into data and statistics, they take a course which has R in it and learn R, because that's the other thing people are slowly. We used to teach, what do you say, SAS. We don't use SAS, so we're SPS, those kinds of things. It's all R now. It's mostly R. At least in the master's programs, it's mostly R. So it's sort of so there is a bit of in all these things. When you first encounter these things, you have to put in some effort to learn these things. That way, at least in the foundational courses, like my course here, 534, there isn't. It's mostly ideas and modeling. There's no languages. But in the electives, you probably you would have to do some of that. Right. I think in enterprise, the Viterbi course on enterprise system, I think there they have to learn something. I'm not sure what they're doing there, but from what I understand, they have lots of homework. And did you take that enterprise?
Yes. It basically the teaches how to use SAP and all the modules in SAP. Yeah, how the enterprise ERP systems are useful in the companies. And yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that's one aspect of it. So the different, depending on where you want to, what you want to do, or what interests you, you would take this. But what I'm talking about this course, what I'm showing you is just these are basic. These are the core courses, and then you have the electives, which take you into a little more specialized areas. Yeah.
Exactly. Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Srinivasan. And I do want an opportunity for Manoj actually to introduce himself as well. Let's see. Let me pull up his slide real quick. Okay. So as I mentioned, oops. Let me go back. We have Manoj, who is our current residential student. He obviously is a graduate of SPJIMR Institute as well. He's currently working as an intern, supply chain intern for Tesla. Previously, he was a supply chain intern for Romeo Power. So, he's joining us today to hopefully share his knowledge about his experience in the program and how it's been so far, what he's learned, and maybe hopefully providing all of you some tips and recommendations on what you can do to help not only be successful in the program, but hopefully be part of the Trojan family as well. So Manoj, you want to go ahead and take over?
Yeah, thank you, Katie. Hi, everyone. This is Manoj. I guess I've met most of you on other session. And as you know, I'm an undergrad from mechanical engineering, and I worked in India for a couple of years. And after that, I joined SPJIMR. And I cannot reiterate or stress enough what Professor Srinivasan has just mentioned, like the courses about R and machine learning, which fortunately I got an opportunity to learn from SPJIMR GMP. So I didn't have to take again those courses here. So yeah, and it's been a great ride for me so far. I've learned a lot. Those are the points which Professor Srinivasan have mentioned, or they have been helped me, whatever the points which I've learned in the program during the interviews and while I'm working now with Tesla. I can go back and refer to those points which I learned, I would say. And yep. So what else do you want me to talk about?
Yeah. So is there any specific, obviously, I'm sure a lot of students here would love to have a position, an internship position at Tesla. I'm sure it's very, very, very competitive. What do you think helped you get that position? And do you feel like the things you're learning in classes you're able to apply in your current position?
Yes, so the current position for the interview, they tested mostly on two aspects. One is the sourcing aspect, and another is Excel-based modeling. They kind of given me a case study to solve, which deals with the network planning and optimization, linear optimization, which I've learned in spreadsheet modeling course. So that helped me. And obviously networking, I've been doing the networking while I was with Romeo Power itself to get into Tesla. And that also helped me to gain more perspective about how they work in Tesla, or what do they do exactly, what type of processes they follow. So those kind of tips or networking events help me in understanding or preparing for the interview process maybe. So yeah.
Great. And, is there a specific skill set do you think that these applicants should have before they be part of this program? Or is there something that they should, that would help them be more successful?
I don't say any pre-required skill set, but you should be more open to learn about supply chain, and you should be more enthusiastic in learning supply chain principles, or be in the industry maybe. So obviously the enthusiasm itself leads to whatever you try to learn, I guess. As for me, I would feel if you are interested, you will learn a lot. So I took business analytics as an elective also. So even though I'm a supply chain practitioner, I wanted to know how analytics will help me in my day-to-day life. So that interest or enthusiasm led me to do well in my supply chain. So I would say that's, and yeah, just to brush upon the topics which you have covered related to supply chain in your undergrad maybe, so that you'll know what exactly is the supply chain if you forgot or something. Yeah.
Great. And I definitely want to leave time for our participants to also ask you questions and the professor questions as well. But lastly, I wanted to just share one last slide with everyone in regards to the our application requirements. Obviously, you'll be learning more about how to apply for this program through DePoly. But as far as the USC end, we also have an application requirement for you to complete the online application on our website. And then there you'll be uploading your official completed resume. So make sure that you have that completed. We also require students to complete some essay questions on our application, as well as complete a video upload. So all you're doing is for the video upload is you are answering a question that we have, a specific topic in supply chain. You're going to be answering that and video recording yourself and uploading that on the online application. We do require the official transcripts also to be uploaded with your online application, as well as your official transcripts to be sent directly to the graduate admissions office. This is a requirement for all students who apply to any programs at USC, as they do require the official copies of your transcript. And as well, we also require the 2 letters of recommendation. And then for on-campus students, international students, they are required to take a TOEFL or IELTS before they join the program. So those are just some, key requirements that we do require. And one of the great things actually this year, that one of the changes that we made is the GRE and GMAT is no longer required as part of our application requirement. This is something that a new change that we implemented just this year. And it's really for us to really open up our students' application and to really allow our committee members to review each applicant holistically. But we do still require the TOEFL and IELTS as part of the requirement to apply. And lastly, this is just how you can join up, how you can follow us on Instagram, LinkedIn, on Facebook. There's also my email address if you have any specific questions, as well as our academic director. So feel free to contact us if you have any specific questions. But I do want to leave some time for Q&A to leave for all of you to ask any questions that you have regarding this program and how we can help you. So feel free to type in the chat box, or you can go ahead and unmute yourself and ask any of us some questions. We're more than happy to help you. Yeah, so Sahil, I know you had a question.
Hello, ma'am. I hope everyone is doing well. I actually had a question regarding one of the prerequisites for the program. I have a 3-year bachelor's degree from here, from India. So, and I was just checking at the website, and it said that I might require a 4-year bachelor degree for my application to be submitted. So I wanted to ask, how is there a way it can be worked out, or and I also have a postgraduate diploma degree, which I did after the 3-year program. So how do I combine it, put it together? Like, should I get one particular piece of document that says that this is eligible for the US degree, or yeah, so that was my basic concern.
That's a great question. So yeah, generally USC does only recognize 4-year institutions as one of the institutions that meets the standard for your bachelor's degree. However, the graduate admissions office also do allow programs to make special requests with the university to ask if, because of the applicant's strong background or whatever relevancy that we recognize that you are a good candidate for the program, we can make a special request to the graduate admissions office to see if they would still accept you as part of the program, even though you don't meet the 4-year institution standard. And it's just more of a request from our program to be sent to the graduate admissions office. And if they approve it, then definitely you can be admitted to the program. But it does require a special request, like a special waiver request from our program to them, in order for it to be approved. So, and it's not to say it hasn't happened. We've definitely have admitted students who have only had the 3-year institution, but because of their strong background and in their application, and we find that this student is a good quality student, then we'll be able to make that proposal for the applicant. Yeah, it's definitely been done before. So I wouldn't worry. I would just still submit your official transcripts entirely so that the school has all the information, and then they'll let us know, hey, this student doesn't have the 4-year degree. Do you want to make a special request? Or, you know, so that's something that we have to do in the back end from our program office, if that makes sense.
Thanks, Katie.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Just wanted to add to what Katie said.
Yes, sir.
You know, you also have a diploma. So putting the diploma together, I don't think you should face any problem. But as Katie just now explained, it's not a very hard rigid law that you need to have a 4-year UG. So there have been students with 3-year UG also joining. So yeah, it can be, I mean, we can look into your application separately and see what kind of exemptions can be made. Okay, so it is, so it's a case-to-case basis. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you so
Right.
much, sir. Thank you so much, ma'am.
There was a question about the application fee. So once your application is complete, you'll have to inform Katie, and that's how she'll work on the process to submit it without any application fee. But please make sure that the application is absolutely complete when you send her the details, because then she'll start the work at her end and make sure that the application is submitted and you don't have to pay any fee.
Exactly. You know, one of the benefit is obviously we have an incredible partnership with your institution. So, you know, our program is paying for all the SPJIMR application fees on USC application system. So that's, you know, definitely something that we can take care of for you as long as you complete the application requirements online.
Hey, this Pritesh is saying that it's a drop-down list. I don't know what in the application, and
So there are a lot of colleges which might be UGC recognized, but maybe USC may not have the entire list with them. So which is perfectly fine, nothing to worry
it's
about.
okay. Okay.
So normally they have others and then you can put in the
Yeah.
name. That's
Yes.
mostly the option.
Yeah.
The drop down, there'll be an option of others. Just click that and then put in the name. Kitty, if you
Ma'am,
can.
but after selecting hello, Pritesh here.
Yes, Pritesh.
Ma'am, actually after selecting others, there is 3 options comes out. There is one Canadian institute and some other two, but there is no option to write the university name that from which I am graduated from.
I mean, that's okay. I mean, as I mentioned, you know, it's impossible for the university to have all the institutions in the world to have in their application. So just do the best that you can. I know that may not be the exact one, but you know, yeah, you can just choose. There's no other option, or no other option you're saying, Pritesh, that you can choose from.
Yeah, that's what he meant, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if there's no other option, you know, just choose one. I mean, but I mean, the graduate admissions office, they're really basing it on the official transcripts that you submit anyway. So the application is just more formality for you to just select something, and then we'll in the back end, the graduate admissions office will be processing your transcripts in your record individually when you submit the official transcripts. So don't worry about
Okay,
that.
ma'am. Okay, ma'am.
Hitesh,
Ma'am,
on a
one
lighter
more thing.
note, you know, once you join and you have a wonderful career like Manoj we have here, and then a lot of your juniors from your college also start applying to USC Marshall, then USC will not have any other choice than to include your college's name also in the list.
That's very true.
Yes, sir. Ma'am, one more thing. Do we need to submit the financial document right now along with the application, or it can be shared later?
Yeah, it could be shared later. So I think for the in order for our committee members to give a decision, I would just, you know, and obviously time is of the essence. You know, you can just go ahead and, you know, leave that blank. However, just know that this is a requirement that you're going to have to fulfill in order to be officially admitted to the program. So unfortunately, Graduate Admissions Office, they will not allow us to officially admit anyone unless the applicant submits the financial documents to the university. So if you decide to leave that out and submit it later, just know that you're going to have to get that processed anyway. So you can try to maybe in the meantime work on getting that document so that when the university is ready and wants to admit you in the program, and you'll have that document ready and you can submit it so that it does not cause any more delays, if that makes sense.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, but for the purpose of deciding whether or not they want to admit you or not, you know, yeah, you can leave that blank for now, but just know that you are required to submit that in order to be officially admitted. Otherwise, we can't admit anyone without it.
No, but Kitty, I have a question. So the interview will be done without the financial documents or not? The application will be reviewed.
Right. So application, the application can be reviewed once. Yeah. So the financial documents is not one of the criteria for a committee member to make their decision whether or not they want to admit the student or not. So those are requirements from the Graduate Admissions Office in order for them to clear an applicant to say, hey, this applicant has enough financial backing so that they can afford to come to USC, and that they can let us know that, okay, this applicant's cleared. We have the official transcripts, we have the financial documents, you can officially admit this student into the program. And then, yeah, and then we can admit them.
So where I'm coming from is that normally what happens is, once the students get the offer letter from SPJIMR, from GMP, we give them the kind of expenses that they'll need to show for I-20. And based on those, they apply for the loan. And that would be the document that they will be submitting to you. So that takes a little longer than, so probably we can discuss this later, how this can be handled.
Yeah.
Because most students would take a loan and come to study, so that this would have to be sorted.
Yeah, Dipali, we have a meeting tomorrow,
Yes,
same time, so we can discuss
yeah, sure.
further nitty-gritties, and we can inform the students accordingly.
Yes.
Those are applying.
So I think we did really covered 1 hour. So if you've got any questions, please hurry up, because I'm sure all three of them have something scheduled for the day.
Yeah, actually, this is Aman this side. I do have one question that I want to ask Manoj. Mr. Manoj, actually.
Hi, Aman.
Hello, hi. So actually, I graduated from UIT University. I did my BTech in production engineering. So I have pretty good idea of like this whole field of supply chain management. But I do want to join the field of business analytics or supply chain analytics, like which deals with roughly, I want to say, like with numbers and to like the analytical part of it. So what are the ways or what are the opportunities that I can like grab onto on this particular program? Because as far as I understand that the supply chain management MSc that the USC offers is mostly the technical program, actually, the technical supply chain management. And like there are some options for analytical exposure, but how exactly should I like plan?
Yeah, I understood what you're trying to say. There is actually, you can do your analytics certification program. Katie will add you more about the details. How can you do? Like currently my program mates who are interested in analytics as well, they are doing. They took courses, electives which are related with ML and AI, data mining. There are certain number of credits you have to complete to get the analytics certification and still maintain your supply chain field. So I think that's possible if you take this course as well, like this program also. Katie, if you can add about the details more about the certification, maybe.
Yeah, so like Manoj said, obviously your degree is in supply chain management, but we've had some on-campus students pursue their certificate in business analytics and other different topics when they are part of USC. And it's a separate application process because it's a separate certification program, which I can leave in the chat of how to apply. But it's a separate thing. And then there's obviously a list of courses or requirements that you need to meet on their end. But you can definitely do that simultaneously when you're earning your master's degree at the same time. So let me go ahead and drop that link on how you can apply for the certificate program. And some of our definitely pursue that opportunity too.
Okay, sure. Thanks a lot.
There's
In
no,
the
there's
chat,
no GMAT
Pritesh has-
requirement, right?
Is there any GMAT requirement? In the chat, I can see a question.
There's no GMAT requirement or GRE requirement this year. We did require it previously, but because we want to definitely open up our application pool, we decided to waive it this year.
And what is the deadline for the application to submit? Is there any deadline?
Yeah, so Deepali, do you want to go over the deadlines for the students so that meets?
Yeah, so GMP, the application deadline, as soon as you complete the application form, we can interview you and let you know the results within the next 48 hours. We have two deadlines for USC. You'll have to complete your application form, say by November, so that the results are out by December. And if you complete it by December 1st, then the results would be out in January 1st week. So it would be advisable if you have to resign or make arrangements for the loan process and all that to complete your application at the earliest, so the reviewing and interview can be done and the offers can be made. Am I there audible? Is it clear?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, thank you, Manoj.
The right point. And Pritesh has a question here. Is there any scholarship available or financial aid available for international students through GMP?
Yeah, so I mentioned on our USC application, there's a section where it says scholarship. Are you interested in a scholarship? So just make sure that you fill out that section, and then we'll definitely, our scholarship committee can definitely take that into consideration when they are providing offers to applicants. So there's definitely opportunities. You just have to indicate that on the online application. And I think you also mentioned, is there any opportunity for teaching or research assistantship? And yes, definitely. But that's something that you have to proactively seek out on your own. I know that our USC Connect SC website has a lot of postings from professors or even departments regarding teaching assistants, like TA positions or research positions, or even some of our professors when they're looking for TAs, they may contact our office, and then our office will blast it out to our students to let them know, hey, Professor so-and-so is looking for a TA. Do you think you can help him? And so yeah, there's definitely opportunities for that. I know generally most professors prefer to hire someone who's completed their class successfully in order to be their TA. So you may not have that opportunity maybe in the first semester in the program, but definitely at least in the second semester once you've completed their courses in the first semester. But that's something you can definitely seek out on our Connect SE website when you are a student in the program.
Adding to what Katie just mentioned on the scholarship, there'll be a lot of courses that you'll be completing here at SPJIMR, and the cost is deducted from the fee at Marshall. So your fees anyways would be lower, and then if you manage to get a good scholarship, the cost comes down quite a bit.
Any other questions or concerns?
I can see a question. Can a person with 52% and 6.12 CGPA apply to MS GSCM?
You know what that conversion is to the 4.0 scale?
I am not sure. I have to work on the scale maybe.
Yeah,
I
you
guess
know
it
what?
comes around maybe 3 or 2.8, I guess, something. Yeah.
See. You know what? I would just apply, you know, because obviously, again, our committee members review each scan holistically. You know, so if you are not so strong in your academic, in your schooling or your transcripts, you know, definitely highlight your strengths in other areas. Maybe you have better work experience, your resume, you know, your letters of recommendation. So definitely highlight other components of your application if, let's say, you're not as strong in other areas. If that makes sense. But I would just apply.
Yeah, I can reiterate the point as well. CGPA or percentage, it doesn't really matter if you have enough subject knowledge of supply chain and other areas. If you are doing well, then you can definitely like mark yourself out in the application process, I would say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that is the advantage of going through GMP, that, you know, in India, academics is kind of everything. It's like, you know, your numbers speak. But here, you as a person can also speak your experience, your, you know, the essay that you're writing. If that is strong enough, you'll definitely get a chance to appear for the interview, and then it's up to you what all you can do. Then it's up totally your, like, you know, performance there.
Any other questions or?
Yeah, any last question, because you're nearly 10 minutes over and above the time that was given. Anyways, Kitty, share your email ID, so if they have any questions, they can connect with you, and Manoj's details are already shared with them. And they have my and the team's number, they can always call us up.
Yeah, feel free to email me if you have any other questions after this presentation. But otherwise, thank you all for attending. It was so great to meet and hear from you, and hopefully we'll be able to see your application very, very soon. So looking forward to it.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
all.
Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you to the team, and thank you to all the aspirants for joining us.
Yes, hope everyone stays safe and healthy, and
Yes.
have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Bye-bye.